Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the SWW show. It is me, AJ. I'm here with Matt from Frozen Flame Interactive, who you just released Robozarro, right?
Yeah, Robozarro.
Yeah, so this is probably the first thing you did post-release, or have you been a busy man?
I've been busy, but this is the first time that I've ever really talked with anybody about what it was like to make the game. It's the first time I've done an interview. Yeah,
That's interesting to hear. Whenever we talk to people that are like, "Oh, this is like my first interview," I'm going, "All right, I don't know how to take that." The back of my mind, I've got two extremes. I've got one where the person doesn't like they're competent and they made a great product, but they don't understand how talking on interviews goes.
Okay,
because like an interview is a lot different than a just talking to somebody. And we were talking before I started recording that you went to school for TV and film, so you understand like when you're interviewing a person, you want to make it a conversation, but also keep it moving.
Right.
And I've definitely had a few where it's a conversation, but it is very one-sided because they're like, all right, and I did this, and then this, and I want to talk about this, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to help you promote this, I don't need to know your life story.
Right. No, this is exciting. Because kind of like you're saying, a lot of me interacting or talking about the game is kind of one-sided. Like I'll talk about it with my wife and tell her how the day went or what I worked on. And on Discord, I run like a small Discord server with some other game developers and a couple of fans and things like that. And we'll talk about the game, but kind of like you're getting at, it's different to talk with somebody who is, just like interested in art or film production or game production or whatever. The conversation's different than if you're just blabbing on to somebody who's like, okay, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I feel like even though I have zero background in game dev, even having a background in production of any kind, whether it be somebody that's in sound production, film production, even like people that have an education in writing, everyone understands art, whether that be movies, TV, games. They seem to understand it a little differently than somebody's just like, oh, I'm a fan of games.
Right. You need to, you can develop I don't know, like a dialogue. I don't know if dialogue's the right word. You can, if you go to school for art, you learn how to talk about art. I guess if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I've seen interviews with baseball players and like cricketers. Completely different sports, even though they look fairly similar. But they can hold a conversation of like, yeah, you know what it's like to have made the journey to become a professional athlete, where in production you know what it takes to put something together. So whether that be me talking to somebody that's made a game or Mike talking to somebody that's made a movie, you understand like there's a process. And I must say Robozarro seems to be like the ultimate example of like, I just have a process and I made it.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was, man. That getting that game done was about me bunkering down and learning along the way and making mistakes along the way and just kind of piecing it together little by little, but like most importantly, not not giving up even when it seemed impossible. That's why I'm excited to talk about it and hear your thoughts on it also, because I've gotten all sorts of different types of feedback over the years, and especially within the past few days as people have started to play it. And I'm curious to see what you think and what you want to know about.
So my first question, this is the one question I had thought of that I didn't go over you with. Is Robozarro a Strand game?
A Strand game? What does that mean? I've never heard the term.
Okay, so Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima's latest game, he came out and said, like, this is the start of a new genre. These are Strand games. And so now my joke to everything is this a Strand game?
Kojima. Wait, first of all, side note, I do think Kojima's brilliant, but his whole Strand game thing, from the moment he said he created a new genre and it was like social strand, this and that, like you're saying, my instinct was to say, wait a second, I've been engaging with games like this ever since I played Demon Souls back on the PS3, ever since I could, lay down messages to help people, navigate the game world in those titles, Demon Souls and Dark Souls and stuff like that. I haven't played Death Stranding though, but that was the impression that I got, where he was just kind of piggybacking on FromSoft's work. No, this isn't a Strand game. I don't think that I don't think that I created anything new with Robozarro. It was kind of the byproduct of me releasing a super early build of the game years and years ago. And getting some really negative feedback on it, and me saying, okay, what do I need to do to make this better? And that's when I added the physics engine. That's when I added the 360 degree like arm rotation for aiming and stuff like that. But if somebody said, like, is your game brand new? Is it a new genre? I'd say no. It's kind of somebody, one of the reviews that I have on Steam right now, somebody said, it's like Mega Man on acid, and I'll take that as a compliment.
It definitely has that feel, I will say, of... my first impressions of it were definitely like, okay, this is like, I hate the term, but Metroidvania, in the sense of there's stuff that I think I'm going to need an upgrade for, or it hasn't been explained yet.
Yeah. One of the things that doesn't get explained until way later on is the story. I don't know if you had a chance to beat the game or not, but about halfway through the game, there's a moment where the main character, Oramatron, goes back to Grandma's house, and she's finally like, look, here's what's going on. Here's why we were in the sewers. Here's why you were acquiring gear, and here's what we're going to do with it. And then even later on in the game, there's kind of like another exposition dump, and one of the main antagonists in the game kind of does one of those, you thought you knew what was going on, but here's what's really going on. So yeah, when I originally envisioned the game, I did want it to be much more Metroidvania in that, like, maybe you're traveling to the right through an environment, and like you said, you get an upgrade, and then now you can travel back to the left and open doorways and passages that you couldn't. But as somebody who was just learning how to program when I was making this game, it was just it was too hard for me, and it was too out of the scope of the game. Like, I started to get like feature creep and stuff like that, and the game was getting too big, so I had to dial it back and kind of make it a more straightforward left to right kind of experience.
No, to answer your question, I have not beaten the game. The two times that I played it, I died in the sewers, in the acid.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, the game is, people say it's difficult at first. I guess one of the things that's hard for people to get used to is the physics-based movement. Like, where when you move the character in Robozarro, I'm never saying move the character left, 10 pixels until you hit a wall, or,
right.
And when you jump also, it's when you press left on the keyboard or the controller, I'm applying a physics force. And so you've got like a physics force being applied to the character, and then you've got a friction between the character and the ground, which is why you slide on the ground a little bit. And then when I introduce like the the robo arm mechanics. You can grapple onto the ceiling and swing around. It's a lot to take in at first. And I've had some people who have beat the game tell me that when you play the game a second time, you start playing it differently. Like the deeper you get into the game and the more comfortable you get with the game, it's almost like you learn it, you get good at it, but it does take some investment, and it's not necessarily immediately rewarding or satisfying. It's something you've got to want to learn how to play, for better or worse.
I will say, you saying that there's a physics movement in it makes me understand so many of my, oh, okay, that's interesting moments of, oh, he didn't jump the way I thought he was going to, because apparently there's physics.
Yeah, you got to build momentum for some of the jumps.
Okay. That makes me feel better, because there was definitely a side of me that was like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, this game, I'll tell you what, the times that I've played it, it definitely, it's a labor of love. It's pretty evident that you enjoyed making it. Just when you're playing it, you can tell that time went into it, and which means that you probably enjoyed making it, because I know for me, if I'm working on a project and I don't like it, I'm not going to put my full effort into it, even though I should.
Yeah.
Like subconsciously, you're like, okay, like I'm not believing in this project, so I'm not going to go full 100%. I'll go like 85, 75%. They'll think I'm going a full 100, but I'm not. This game's definitely, you can tell that you went a full 100%. You enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And I will say, it is an interesting just art style. Like, it's not your standard 8 or 16-bit look.
Somewhere in between, right?
Because, well, not only that, but you're also using colors that they normally wouldn't have used.
Yeah.
You're using different shades of blue and red and things like that, which, like, I mean, 16-bit and 8-bit are called that because they only had so many color bits that they could choose from. And they tended to be similar colors. Like, they couldn't get fancy hexadecimal color codes out because, first off, they probably didn't exist at the time. And secondly, how would a NES know how to decipher, like, FFF056 from FFF053? Like, it would be such a subtle change that it wouldn't know what to do. It would try to output it, but it wouldn't know what to do. But now with modern technology, like, a computer can read, all right, FFF056 is 3 shades up from 053.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah. For the art direction, I kind of just eyeballed it. I guess when some developers are starting out or they're prototyping or whatnot, you can go online and you can get some really good, almost like pre-picked like color palettes, which can be awesome because I think like being limited in your art direction can force you to get really creative with how you're using colors and how you're kind of like selling the player the certain mood or certain vibe or whatever. But before doing Robozarro, I had no experience really doing visual art and for sure pixel art. And so I kind of just eyeballed everything and massaged everything into place and sort of just made it up as I went. So the sewers in particular, I've told people, was really tricky for me. I did like 3 or 4 different versions of it with just kind of like different shades of like orange and purple and different styles of pixel art. And when I finally got it to where it's at in the finished game, it sort of paved the way for the rest of the game. I would say, interestingly enough, I think the sewers area that you've been in is probably the weakest link in the game in regards to pixel art, which is one of the reasons why I spent so much time on that city environment in the beginning of the game, is because I really really wanted the opening of the game to be like, whoa, like with the rain and the robots and the colors and the neon signs and stuff like that. I wanted that to be an area where people, like you said, felt like, okay, this guy spent some time on this game. That way, when you hop down into the sewers and the palette's like a little bit more muted and maybe a little bit less confident, people feel like, well, maybe the art direction will get better again, which I think it does later on in the game.
I'll say 90. I'll put it at a solid 90, maybe 95% of people won't notice.
Okay, interesting.
It's just like that's something that a lot of people they think they notice, and so they tell their mind that, oh, the palette's, it's different, so it's weaker or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I've done a few examples where you show a person, okay, for instance, Blade Runner 2049, one of the most visually, in terms of color, one of the most visually stunning movies made in the past 5 years.
Yeah, I love that movie.
And then you can show them, like, take your pick of Sharknadoes and their color palettes, and then show them the exact same Blade Runner image, and they think it's changed. Because their mind is comparing it now to your Sharknado or whatever generic action movie you use.
Yeah.
And they think, oh, well, the art palette for Blade Runner is just so much better, which it is, but like they think it's just so much better than the image that they first saw. Because your mind is constantly comparing everything.
Interesting, yeah.
So if you take something very vibrant, then show it something very non-vibrant, muted isn't the right word, but because muted stuff can be amazing.
Yeah.
You just show your mind something just bland, and then go back to the vibrant. It's now comparing. Your mind was comparing the bland to the vibrant, but now it's comparing the vibrant to the bland.
Yeah.
So your mental image of the vibrant is now compared differently. So you think it's more vibrant and more alive.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think a similar thing happens in music production. Like, for example, before I ever got into game development, I wrote some electronic music with a buddy of mine, and we would always have a hard time with just like nailing our final mix of a song, especially when it came to the mastering process. And so we finished a song and we listened to it, and then we listened to like a popular, just a popular song. Maybe it was on the radio or maybe it wasn't, but we liked it. And we listened to the audio quality of like a commercially developed, like music track compared to ours. And we're like, why is their music sounds so much richer? It sounds cleaner. The vocals are more crisp, and we've done everything we can, and we can't get our volume levels as loud as theirs and whatnot. But my point is that when we finished our album and we listened to our album from front to back, the album itself was a cohesive experience, and it was fine, and it sounded okay. And it was only until we compared it to somebody else's music that we're like, ooh, this is weird, this is off. And I think movies and I think video games, you can apply the same thing to, like where Robozarro, when you're just sitting down and playing Robozarro by itself, the art direction and everything and the sound design is probably fine and serviceable for what the game is. But it's only until you compare it to a Mega Man or a Shovel Knight or Owlboy or something like that, where you're like, okay, it's maybe the art's not like quite as good as these other games, or it's different from these other games, but by itself, as a self-contained experience, it's all right. It works, right?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: if you're comparing yourself to the current, I guess, leaders of a genre,
right?
In terms of that, first off, the teams they have are massive, so a single person will never be able to reach that. Just you don't have the manpower to do it.
Yeah,
it'd be like me making action thriller and comparing it to Logan.
Yeah.
And being like, well, I guess I'm never going to be that good because, you're comparing yourself to arguably the greatest modern version of whatever you're making. So
Yeah.
just tempering your internal expectations of like shooting for the moon and as a single person being realistic of, okay, I'm not going to hit the moon, but as long as I can pass some of these other projects, I'm fine.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not seen as the bottom, I'm good. Even if I'm one up from the bottom, like if I'm one up from the bottom, hey, I won. I made it. Like, I'm not dead last.
Yeah, that's true. Man, yeah. No, I hear you.
Having that mentality for all of that's been my mentality for everything that I've ever made is as long as I'm not last, I'm good. And it's serviced me for a while. And obviously there's projects that I've worked on that I'm like, okay, this is going to be great. You just know going in. But there's been stuff where I've just been like, all right, this might be the time that I'm the bottom. But you got to just, put your heart into it. If you put your heart into it, anything, it'll be better than anything that clearly didn't have that love put into it, even if it's, a broken mess. If it's like Red Dead on Stadia right now, where you just can't play the game.
Yeah.
But they're working on it. They're trying to make it work. The team at Stadia is like, all right, we're not going to let this happen. We're going to put our heart and soul into it.
Yeah, you make a good point. I guess obviously it's subjective as to what the bottom is. What games, movies, TV series, etc. are bottom tier. But I think you're right that the bottom tier stuff is probably stuff that people put out, and I don't know, they probably didn't put their heart into it, like you're saying. So as long as you put time, effort, and energy into it, chances are you won't be there because somebody at some point just tried to do a quick cash grab, and that's the stuff that's probably sitting all the way on the bottom, is stuff that people didn't care about for whatever reason.
The only project that works being the absolute bottom tier is Sharknado. I don't know why I've used that example already, but the first one is very clearly trying to be something it's not, but then they slowly got more, slowly being, I think it took them 2 movies. By the third one, it is so ridiculous. And they just completely lay into, all right, these movies are terrible, but we're going to have a blast.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Robozarro is out now on Steam. Is it on anything else, or is it just Steam?
It's just on Steam right now. However, console ports are actually in the works. I can't say much more than that, unfortunately. But in 2020, as long as everything goes according to plan, it should be on PS4, Switch, and Xbox One.
Well, here's the secret. You've got, 20 days, 23 days left in 2019.
Yeah.
It's a pretty solid bet that 2020 is your mark. We were talking,
for anything else?
Yeah.
we
were talking to somebody, and it was like, it was late November. Or it was just before Thanksgiving, I think is when it happened. We were talking to him, and I was like, do you have a time frame for, the next introduction of stuff? And they're like, well, we'd like to get it done fairly soon. And I'm like, so should we expect it in 2020? And they were trying to go on of like, well, maybe 2019. I'm like, let's be real. I didn't tell them this, but everybody just pump the brakes. It's probably not going to get done in 2019.
Yeah.
Unless it was ready to be done then and there, it's not coming out this year.
Yeah, it was tricky for me to get it done in 2019 for a chunk of the game's development, maybe the tail end. Okay, so about 6 months ago, I had been streaming development of the game on Twitch about 5 days a week or so. And I was doing the streaming for maybe about 6 months. And I did this. The game took me about 2.5 years to make. I think I streamed for a total of 9 months to a year while I was doing it. But at some point, about 6 months ago, I had to let the community of people that was watching me on an almost daily basis know I can't stream anymore. And that was because streaming just slowed me down so much. I needed to just not need to, not need to like show off and promote and talk while I was developing the game. And I needed some quiet time here. I needed to be able to bunker down and essentially work twice as fast to get this game out the door in 2019. And then when I saw that I was going to hit my deadline, which was 2019, I was like, oh man, the game's going to be done in December. Nobody releases indie games in December. Like everybody knows not to do it. But then the more that I thought about it, I was like, well, does a low profile game like Robozarro that's not really gonna, be covered by IGN or GameSpot or any of these other, like super popular websites, like does it matter whether or not my game comes out in December or January or February? And I kind of ultimately decided no. And that's why I decided to do December against other people's judgment.
Well, I will say in terms of release dates, like it feels like all of the pre-notions of, oh, you don't release in December, you don't release in March, like all of that has gone away because just stuff gets delayed, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this March 2020 is a hell of a month. Like that February to March span is like what is normally the dead zone is like, oh, there's a bunch of really big games coming out.
Yeah, like you're saying, everything that was supposed to come out in November / December gets pushed there.
And everything now, like that idea of, okay, like really the only people that would be hurt by releasing in December are like those not quite AAA games, because they're the ones that like they have a publisher behind them that's like, oh, well, you need to get X coverage. But during December, everybody's doing Game of the Year.
Yeah.
So there's just no coverage. And so it hurts not the big guys, but like that tier, not double A. That's a weird term for me. But that like not quite triple A. Like my favorite example was Far Cry 3. Came out in early December. Nobody talked about it, but it still did fine.
Yeah,
like there's clearly things they kick the trend, exceptions to the rule, but yeah, I even in a weird way, even if like you release this in October, probably not going to get the press.
Think so, in October? Huh.
Just because like there's also like your game is very cool, but the problem is it would have required like somebody to have played it and then like spread the word.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be for a PC for sure for me.
Yeah, like whereas there are some other indie games that are like, oh, well, the person made this or that. And so there's this inherent, like, okay, let's check it out.
Yeah. You're saying, like, in October, October is a decent slot for even, like, medium profile games or even, like, lower profile games, especially made by teams who have put out a product or, you know.
Yeah, even a little name recognition.
Yeah.
They would probably get picked up, whereas like it's not just you, it's anybody's first game, unless it's like Spelunky.
Yeah, I know, right?
You're probably not going to get picked up, and even that didn't get picked up. Like when it first came out, it took a couple months for people to like play it and really enjoy it. They weren't covering it day one.
Yeah. Some games they just have like really good word of mouth. Like one that I think of is Undertale as well, which is kind of one of the games that inspired me from I'm going to use Game Maker Studio to make my first game kind of thing. Was I remember Undertale being this like force that slowly, actually maybe kind of quickly, but it seemed like slowly built up over time. Where speaking of IGN, I think they reviewed it like later than everybody. Like even IGN was like, "Oh, there's this indie game that everybody's talking about. We should probably get this on our website." But it was like 2 or 3 weeks or something like that after it was already blowing up in a good way. Um, Whereas, yeah, so some indie devs, I don't know if it's luck or skill or if they plan it, but they just, like you're saying, they launch their first game and maybe it's lightning in a bottle, but everything goes right for them. And I think it's incredible when developers have that level of success.
I mean, it's a combination of everything, right? Like, you're not going to, very few people, I'm not going to say nobody, very few people hit a home run on their first at bat.
Yeah.
So for people to realize that and kind of temper their internal expectations is great, because the people that very clearly are like, all right, this is my first project, I'm going to go for broke. The people that do that usually burn out because they're like, oh, well, I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to make sure I got this. And you're just like, you lose your love for a project because instead of it being, okay, I just want to make, they're then being like, well, I have to hit this. Right? Like, they're already doing the, investor, you got to hit marks. They're doing that already, and it's their first project. And it's like, no, don't do that. Like, just make something you like. Make something you're going to invest your time into and make the best thing you can. Not, oh, well, I need, like in the case of Robozarro, I need, oh, well, it should be like Mega Man. It should play like Mega Man. Like, you don't need that. Like, you're one person. Mega Man was made by a studio of probably a couple hundred. And, they had time and probably considerably more resources.
they had Capcom, right? So
yeah, they had resources. So yeah, seeing people that, like Spelunky, again, perfect example. He clearly was not going for, oh, well, I got to do this, and then this. He's just like, I'm going to make a game. And he happened to make one of the best games of the decade.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember when it came out. I was like, was it before 2009? No. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, I can't remember. There were different versions of it also, right? Wasn't the first version of that game actually made in the Game Maker engine, and then at a certain point he or a team of people ported it to, I don't know if they ported it to Unity or something else, but basically when it got the current art style for the game, I could have sworn that was because they used a different engine, but maybe it was still Game Maker, but they changed the art. But yeah, to my point, I think that game had like a build up. Like people were excited about that game for a really long time. I wonder if it was in early access for a long time, or if who made that? Was it Derek Yu? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Maybe he was just like really good with being on forums or Reddit or wherever he liked to talk about the game, because it seemed like people were excited about that game forever in a really good way.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Kickstarter or not Kickstarter in particular, but like that early access. If it was one of those, it may have been. But yeah, we could probably go on forever talking about how people should make, not should, but how people can make games and enjoy it. But
yeah.
I know you've got a meeting with somebody to work on your balcony coming up.
We'll see if they get here.
Yeah, we somehow snuck an interview in without noise.
Yeah, this is amazing. I almost can't believe it happened.
And so we probably shouldn't push our luck because with the way my luck goes, in about 3 minutes, you're going to get that knock on the door, and then all of a sudden, it's going to be chaos.
Yeah, okay, no worries. How do you want to close things out?
Yeah, so Robozarro is out on Steam. You mentioned you have a Discord server. Is there Twitter, other social medias?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter.
Okay.
It's at Frozen Flame Int. INT at the end of that, just because I couldn't fit interactive.
Because that would be too long.
Yeah. So sometimes, like if I go on Twitch or something like that, I think that's my name on Twitch also, and a streamer will be like Frozen Flame Int, and I'm just like, you don't need to say the int. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I guess I did that to myself. So.
Yeah, it's always interesting when people have like the. Oh boy, no! Stop! Twitch, stop! I don't want Call of Duty playing. Frozen Flame. All right, I'm just gonna search that.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, I'm on Twitter. I have a Discord server. I forget where the Discord links are. I think maybe Robozarro.com is a Discord link. There might be one on my Twitter. It's a super small server. All are welcome. It's kind of like a small handful of indie game developers and just enthusiasts, and you know.
Let's see. You are on. I'm on your website. Let's see. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Discord is in the contact. So
cool, great. That means that at some point in history, I did good.
That's always if I don't go to somebody's website beforehand and look at their social links, it's always the like you can hear it in their voice of, okay, I think I'm on this, and then I find out that they are, and you can hear the relief of like, okay, whew, I put that in.
Yeah. Oh man, out of all of the things that I love to do between game dev, pixel art, music, etc., web design is just something that I dread whenever I have to do it. It is not my strong suit, and it is not something I enjoy doing. So the website's a little just kind of ramshackle together, I guess.
But it works.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's functional.
That's all that matters. as long as it works.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Thank you so much for the discussion.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was fun. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. Robozarro is a very fun game. Check it out. It's on Steam. It's $5. Can't beat that. Just don't go to Starbucks for a day.
Yeah, basically, right? Whenever you want to support an indie dev who's got a cheap game out there, it's like you forego the Starbucks or the fast food or something, right? You eat ramen for a day is what you do.
Or you just meal prep and just don't go to Starbucks that day. And then you don't have to eat ramen, and you still get a great game. All right, Matt. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the SWW show. I am here with Laura from Luna Beat, who made Paranormal Detective: Escape from the 80s.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. A VR escape room puzzle game. I will say this hits a lot of what I like, because I like the 80s kind of. I like escape rooms because I actually worked at a place that ran escape rooms, so I learned to really like those.
Oh, that's really cool.
And while it's not set up right now, I do like VR.
Oh, awesome.
I've had it for a while. I bought the Vive like right around when it came out.
Oh, very cool. Yeah,
so I've had
years ago.
Yeah, I've had VR for quite a while. In fact, I was looking at getting a OS VR, the open source VR headsets, which were like they were coming out right around when the Oculus like dev units were coming out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was a little while ago.
Yeah, I think that was over 5 years ago.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, because you put it up on the it's up on the Steam store page. What's unique about the Valve Index in terms of the controls?
Basically, you just have a little bit more realism and a little bit more interactivity. With the Vive wands, you can really only have certain hand positions, so it's not really super realistic. But with the Vive Index, it can really track your fingers a lot more closely. So you can make different hand motions and get different hand positions, which are definitely a lot more realistic than just the regular wands. Because right now I think it's grab, point, and just hand relaxed are the 3 hand positions. So the index just makes you a little bit more immersed in the whole game.
I was gonna say, don't they have the like they can track, I think, all of your fingers, right? So you could.
Oh yeah.
You can make obscene hand gestures in VR now. Much easier.
You certainly can.
What game was it? Onward. It's like military shooter style, and you could kind of jank your way into just running around holding up a middle finger.
Oh my goodness. Well, you could do that in our game too, if that's what.
You could. It's a lot more realistic.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Well, for the index, I'm sure it's a lot more realistic on the fact that you're just literally holding up a middle finger.
Yeah, you are actually. I was very excited, and I went around to show my husband. I said, "Hey, look!" And then I was like, "Oh wait, I'm just."
Hey, look what you can.
Everyone I know and love.
Yeah, look what you can do.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I can only imagine the new headsets now that they can track fingers a lot better. There's going to be a lot of just random bystanders walking by people's open windows, watching them in VR, just standing in their room, spinning around, just wildly flinging middle fingers and other obscene hand gestures. And I'm like, this could be the instead of you're walking down the sidewalk and you get a glimpse of there's some dude just watching like porn on a VHS. Now it's somebody playing VR, just spinning in circles with middle fingers.
Oh gosh. Let's hope there's not too many. That sounds like that might make the streets a little hazardous. You'd be dodging on your way to work.
That would, yeah. Well, now they have the, what is it, the Quest and the Go from Oculus.
Right, yeah. Those are super cool. So now I have a Go here.
Now you can VR on the Go.
Oh, that's true.
Still, my favorite picture is Adam Boyes, who now runs Iron Galaxy. There's a photo of him standing at a Tesla charger with his Go on.
Oh my god.
Just VR in the wild, and his wife took the picture and he tweeted it out, and I'm like, this is the future. The guy's literally got an electric car and is playing VR.
Oh my gosh. Let's just hope he takes it off, before he gets in the thing.
I mean, they've got autopilot, right? Like,
yeah, that just occurred to me. I was like, oh, he might not have to. Gosh.
So what are some of the inspirations behind Paranormal Detective?
Oh wow! So we went on a total bender for 80s movies. We watched a whole bunch of them. I had to check them all out from the library. It was like the original VHS tapes because no one's put them on Blu-ray or anything. We watched The Wizard with Fred Savage with the Power Glove movie.
Power Glove.
Yeah, the old Nintendo. It's like a glove, you strap it on.
Yeah.
They say in the movie, "Oh, it's bad."
Yeah, though there's shoot. What's the I can't remember it's that movie or if it's something fairly recent where they use the Power Glove as like just an interface.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's so cool.
Like it's like a mobile computer interface. Like I think they use it as like a hacking interface or something like that. And
that would be amazing. Holy cow. Well, you do hack a little bit.
Was it? I think it was Kung Fury. I think Hacker Man has a Power Glove on.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really resonated with a lot of people across the years, just because it's so iconic and cool and stuff. So we definitely got that in. We were just looking at some other movies, especially we started concentrating on movies where the protagonist kind of got sucked into a cyber or some kind of alternate reality. Because I don't want to spoiler the game, but something similar kind of happens.
So you watched Tron?
Oh, absolutely. We have a big Tron spoof poster up in the main room, and then also Back to the Future as well, because that was kind of a paranormal time travel crazy movie.
Cool. Yeah, it definitely, if those out there get a chance, it is full of 80s references. I mean, if you were alive, or I was born in 95, so
oh, cool.
Through my mom, I got the 80s
Nice
culture, but yeah, it's definitely, it's got that feel.
Cool.
And
yeah, my partner grew up a little bit more in the 80s, and I kind of caught the tail end. I was born in 83. So I have some some memories of how it all went down, and then my brother and sister were going full-fledged 80s. So I had some of the feel down for designing the sets and whatnot, which was super fun.
I feel like that's a disease, going full-fledged 80s.
They've recovered since.
That's good.
I'm happy to say.
They went through the 80s recovery program.
They did. They had to turn in their scrunchies, turn on all their
acid wash.
Yes, those all had to go. It was tragic.
They traded it in for ripped jeans and flannel long sleeves.
That's true. It was a new era. We had to do grunge next. Time marches on.
And then grunge led into, I don't even know, like, I guess it would be I guess if you were in the pop culture, it was emo in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, and then there was the whole raver scene that kind of started up with all the millennial, everyone had the holographic clothes and stuff, which was exciting. And they just had a big throwback to that in fashion. It was like holographic everything. It was very, I felt like I was at the turn of the century again, walking around. It's like, oh my gosh, look at all this.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh boy. Yeah, I'm glad we moved on from that.
Yeah, for real.
I just gotta, like, this is, in terms of, like, there go my dogs. In terms of, like, checking boxes off of things that I like, VR is a big thing that I like. It's kind of a hassle for me because I have 2 dogs, so I have to figure out how to.
Yeah, strap little sensors on them.
I know. I should get the Vive.
Yeah, the bases.
The pucks for them.
Yeah.
And just strap them onto their collars, so then when they run in, all of a sudden they just see like.
Gonna map a little dog model to it. This is a good idea.
No, I'm gonna make their model like a giant T-Rex or something, so they don't notice it.
Gosh. Watch out.
Yeah, I'm sitting there trying to keep talking, and nobody explodes, and all of a sudden there's just this T-Rex that runs back of frame. Oh, hey, dogs are here.
Oh, okay.
That would be, yeah. It just checks off everything. The VR, for me, VR's always been like, not necessarily like the next step, because I think for me the next step were the like Jackbox, the digital party games.
Oh yeah, totally.
So like the VR and AR is like the next step. Like once they figure everything out, and I think the Index is going the right direction.
Absolutely.
Once they figure everything out, it's going to be the way that the vast majority of people experience things, not just games.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so immersive. It's crazy what they've been doing with 360 video and stuff, and they've been bringing it into the journalism industries, and it's really crazy. The applications of it out in the real world, not just in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, it's becoming, especially AR. I know is huge in the medical industry right now. They are developing I think Microsoft said they were starting to work on the project where you would put on a HoloLens and it would scan the size of a person.
Oh, wow.
And so you could see like the nervous system or the artery system.
That's crazy.
That stuff. So then, like if they know where something is, like they say they have a pain somewhere, you can highlight that. So then you could look at it in terms of where everything else would be
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I think will be the next, especially for that. But yeah, like I said, this checks everything off. I mean,
oh, cool.
the fake arcade games.
Oh, that was so fun.
That it's funny. So I'm looking at the Steam page right now, and so it has is this game relevant to you? Similar to games you've played. New Retro Arcade is on there because I got that game right away, and
oh, cool.
I played like a couple weeks when it first came out in beta.
Yeah.
With the stock games that they had on there, like the fake Mario and the fake Flappy Bird and all that. And then I found the person that's like, hey, here's all the arcade dumps.
Oh my gosh.
And if you're willing to take the time, it's not that difficult.
Right. Oh, that's crazy.
I won't direct people to the sites that have that, but I will say it's a shareable folder on Google Drive.
Wow.
All of the arcade ROMs, and like they have the attract screens and the cabinet art and all that.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, currently my New Retro Arcade is incredible. It's this crazy, like you walk in and it's, oh, there's Street Fighter, there's
oh my gosh.
like King of Fighters, there's they have Michael Jackson's arcade game as one of them.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's all these, it's a really cool thing. And this just feels just like that.
Oh, cool.
In terms of the setting,
Yeah, we were really aiming for that, that full nostalgia factor, getting all the, getting all the little toys in and making them as original as they can, which is super cool.
Also, your X-Files knockoff poster, not only referencing X-Files, but also probably the biggest song of the 80s.
I couldn't help it.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I had to. So thank you.
I'll let people figure out what song it's referencing, but it is one of the splash images on Steam.
Yes. No, we had a lot of fun. I probably spent more time than I really should have, just doing a lot of like the set decoration. I'm not sure if it's visible in the screenshots, but at one point, like you're in the Paranormal Detective office, and you can see all of the articles that he's kind of pinned up that he's researching. And they're all different spoofs on, these different movies that we've seen to research it. So, it's instead of Devin Flynn from Tron, we've got Heaven Lynn on a cyber motorcycle gang. And, just fun, different little spoofs.
Yeah, I do like the people that their flavor text stuff, that's the ambient, like, writings and stuff like that.
Flavor.
And they actually write stuff out. It's not just like a lorem ipsum. It's like and it's especially noticeable in VR because you can lean over and look at it and be like, oh, they actually wrote something for this.
Yes.
Or
we got some friends to donate photos and stuff too, and there's a bunch of like Kickstarter photos in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on the content.
Cool.
Or, the set dressing. Yeah.
Well, this Paranormal Detective Escape from the 80s is out now, VR only. It is $15, and I would say, like, just don't go to Starbucks for 3 days.
That should do it. It's actually on sale through the Steam sale, so I think you can actually just skip 2 Starbucks runs because it's for $12.74 until January 2nd.
Nice. Nice. Well, cool. This will, I think this is the next fun little thing that when I have It's weird to say when I have time for VR because
No, I know the feeling.
it's a slog. It's like an hour to get my setup.
Yeah, I
out
have the
and
same
going.
thing. I have to kind of set up the sensors and dig the headset up and get all the controllers hooked up, and it takes a few.
Yeah, and then if I haven't played it in a while, it's like, oh, my wands are dead, or oh, only
Oh,
one
no.
works right now.
Oh, and then you got to update.
I just have that stuff run automatically, so
Oh, okay.
the second the headset turns on, it just pulls all the updates. So
Oh, nice, excellent.
I future-proofed myself the day that I got my headset. Of just download the updates to my computer, and then when it turns on and syncs, we'll be good.
Oh, that's perfect. Just help me out, man. Do this for me.
All right. Well, Laura, thank you very much for hopping on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And check out Paranormal Detective, Escape from the 80s, a VR escape room that is 80s themed, and it's available on Steam now.
Yes.
This podcast was a product of the SWW show. You can find more at the swwshow.com or facebook.com/the SWW store or twitter.com/SWW. You can find out more about Mike at Mikey_Maroney on Twitter and more about AJ at Losivor on Twitter. Remember, new episodes come out twice a month, one focusing on the new entertainment news and one focusing on movie club, so new and an old movie. You can find out more again at the swwshow.com, and you can find the show on podcast services around the globe.